now we are going to discuss about the roles of other elements. So here we are going to discuss about magnesium, sulfur and boron. Okay. So they are magnesium, sulfur, boron. Okay. So here magnesium is absorbed by plants in Mg2 plus form, in the form of Mg2 plus, magnesium 2 plus. So here this magnesium, it activates the enzymes of respiration, photosynthesis and synthesis of DNA and RNA. So this magnesium performs a very important role in respiration, photosynthesis and synthesis of genetic material. Okay. So here this magnesium is also a constituent of ring structure of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is a pigment. Okay, it is that pigment chemically it is made. Chemically it is a kind of ring structure. So in that magnesium is a part of it. Okay, and it maintains a ribosome structure. This magnesium maintains ribosome structure. Okay, so there are 3 points: respiration, photosynthesis, and synthesis of DNA and RNA. And it is a constituent of chlorophyll, and it maintains ribosome structure. Okay. So next we are going to see about sulfur. Sulfur is absorbed in the form of sulfate, SO4 2-. So this sulfur is present in, mainly in 2 amino acids, okay, which is cysteine and methionine. So in these 2 amino acids, sulfur is present. Okay. So this sulfur is also a constituent of coenzymes, okay, vitamins and pyridoxine. So in vitamins it is present in thiamine, biotin and coenzyme A. Okay. So, constitute of some coenzymes, vitamins and pyridoxine, not all. Okay. So, examples of vitamins are thiamine, biotin and coenzyme A. Okay. So, sulfur, it is absorbed as sulfate, present in amino acids cysteine and methionine, and it is a constituent of coenzymes, vitamins, pyridoxine. Okay, this is very important. And next, the element is boron. So boron is it is absorbed as BO3 3-, B4O7 2- in the borate form. Okay. So it is required for uptake and utilization of calcium 2+. If boron is not there, you cannot. The plants cannot absorb calcium. Yeah. In order to absorb calcium, the plants need boron first. If boron is present only, the plants can absorb calcium. Okay. So it is required for uptake and utilization of calcium. And boron also performs functions like membrane functioning, pollen germination. It helps the pollen to germinate, cell elongation and differentiation, and the carbohydrate translocation. Okay, it is very, very important. The boron characteristics, it is important. If boron is present only, calcium will be present in plants. Boron is not there, calcium will be not there. So boron is required for uptake and utilization of calcium, membrane functioning, pollen germination, cell elongation and carbohydrate translocation. Okay, so it is very important: magnesium, sulfur and boron. Okay, so next we will see some more roles of other elements. Okay, so now we are going to see about the other 3 elements and their role, what they are performing in plants, what role they perform in plants. So first one we are seeing about iron. So iron is Fe. So it is absorbed as Fe3+, which is ferric ions. Okay. So here it is required. This iron is required in the large amounts compared to other micronutrients. Okay. So these are important constituent of proteins. These iron form many proteins, and the transfer of electrons like pyridoxine and cytochromes. Okay. So transfer of electrons is nothing but they perform electron transport in order to perform food. In order to prepare food, they need many electrons. Electron transporters in leaves. Okay. So it transfers. This iron is very important in the transport of electrons, like pyridoxine and cytochromes. Okay. So here this iron activates catalase enzyme. Okay, it activates catalase enzyme, and it's essential for the formation of chlorophyll. Okay. It performs a very great role in the chlorophyll formation. Okay, this iron. So altogether this iron the important function of iron is transfer of electrons, okay, like ferredoxin and cytochromes, and it activates catalase enzyme and essential for the formation of chlorophyll. Okay. So next we are going to see about manganese. So manganese is absorbed as manganese ions, which is Mn2 plus. Okay. This manganese activates many enzymes, okay, which are involved in photosynthesis, respiration, and nitrogen metabolism. Okay, photosynthesis, respiration, and nitrogen metabolism. So this manganese plays a very important role in splitting of water and liberating oxygen. So from water only the oxygen is liberated to the atmosphere by plants. Okay, it takes in carbon dioxide and the oxygen liberates, right? So that oxygen is from water, not from carbon dioxide. Okay. So this manganese splits water and liberates oxygen to the environment. Okay. And this is about manganese. So important in manganese is splitting of water. Okay. So next we are going to see about molybdenum. So molybdenum, molybdenum mineral is absorbed by plants in the form of molybdate ions, which is MoO2 3+. Okay. So this molybdate ions, it is a main component of nitrogenase and nitrogen reductase. Okay, which is very important in the nitrogen metabolism. Nitrogenase and nitrate reductase are nothing but the two enzymes which are involved in nitrogen metabolism. Okay. So nitrogen to plants is given by some nodules which are formed at the roots. So these nitrogenase and nitrate reductase forms a very important component in them. Okay. So this is about molybdenum. Molybdenum performs nitrogen metabolism. Manganese splits hydrogen, splits water and liberates oxygen. Iron, ferredoxin cytochromes, and activates catalase enzyme, formation of chlorophyll. Okay. So next we will see about other elements and their roles. So now we are going to see about the last two elements. Okay. The role about last two elements, which is copper and chlorine. Okay. So this copper is absorbed in plants as Cu2+, which is cupric ions. Okay. So here this copper is involved in certain enzymes which perform redox reaction. Okay, redox reactions are nothing but reduction as well as oxidation. Reduction, oxidation or reactions. Okay, it reduces as well as it oxidizes a reaction. So these copper are involved in these kind of reactions in some enzymes. Okay. So next we are going to see about chlorine. So this chlorine is absorbed as chloride ions, Cl-. This chlorine is absorbed along with sodium and potassium. Potassium. So along with sodium it absorbs chlorine, along with potassium it absorbs chlorine. Okay, like NaCl and KCl it absorbs from water, and it helps in determining solute concentration. Okay, it determines the concentration of solute, whether it is hypotonic, hypertonic. Okay, hypertonic is the outside solute concentration which is very concentrated than the cell concentration, and hypotonic which is less. Okay, the outer concentration is less. And it performs anion-cation balance. It balances both the negative charge ions and positive charge ions. Okay, and it has also helped in the splitting of water. Okay, like we saw in manganese, right? Manganese also it splits water and liberates oxygen. So here chlorine also splits water and liberates oxygen. Okay, so these are the functions of chlorine. Okay, it liberates oxygen, it splits water, and it is involved in the anion-cation balance. And copper is involved in redox reactions. Okay, enzymes in redox reactions. So these are the two elements, last two elements under role of macro and micronutrients. So next we go to the third subtopic. Okay, which is deficiency symptoms of essential elements. What are the deficiency symptoms we will be studying? Okay. So now we are going to see about the deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Okay. So here, what is deficiency regarding elements?
Regarding elements.
In plants.
That it is required but it is not having.
Yes, very good. So these deficiency symptoms appear in plants because there are essential elements, right? very essential elements for plants. There are 17 essential elements which are macronutrients and micronutrients. So if these essential elements are limited, that is there is a particular concentration of plants which it could which it needs the element. Okay. So if these elements are supplied limited to the concentration, less than that concentration, then less than its concentration and limited in amount, then plant growth is retarded.
Retarded means it stop.
Yeah. Okay. Then plant growth is retarded. So concentration of elements below which plant growth is retarded. So below which concentration, if you supply an element.
So concentration of elements. So the plant growth is depend on concentration of elements.
Concentration of essential elements.
Essential elements.
How much it is present or it is not present. The concentration determines the plant growth. Okay. So in what concentration does the plant grow well?
In a what concentration?
Yeah, below that concentration it cannot grow. So that particular concentration, that critical concentration, that particular level is known as critical concentration. So below this concentration, if you supply any element, the plant growth is retarded. Okay, so
it go above or
it should be above or critical. So in that concentration, you have to supply the elements. Below it, if the elements, the concentration of the elements is below the critical concentration, then the plant growth is retarded. Okay, so that particular level of concentration is known as critical concentration.
Then slowly the plant dies or it will be
when the critical, it is applied in
lower
the plant growth is retarded and it dies eventually.
Slowly it dies.
Yeah. So under this, when it is applied lower to the critical concentration, it shows some deficiency symptoms. Okay. The deficiency symptoms like leaf curling and yellowing of leaves and everything.
The plant will fall.
Okay. So here, in absence of any particular element, in total absence of any particular element, the plant shows some morphological changes. Morphological changes means the changes in the structure of plants, like leaves, what we see.
The leaf turns, the color,
outer structure,
the color turns.
Yeah. So these morphological changes are indicative of certain element deficiencies. Okay. So this which are changes, this morphological which is not normal to a plant and it changes eventually, then there is some deficiency in the plant. Okay. So this deficiencies vary with element to element. Okay. Deficiencies are nothing but some deficiencies occur in leaf, some deficiency occur in leaf veins, some in the roots, some on the stem. So it varies with element to element. If this element is deficient, it occurs in that area. If another element is deficient, it will occur in some other area. Okay. So here it varies with element to element. Okay, each deficiency. So there are two elements, types of elements with respect to movement of elements. We have seen earlier.
Yeah, immobile and
immobile.
It goes from the source and to the required place.
No, that is not mobile and immobile.
Okay.
That is transport.
Yeah, it's transport.
So what is mobile and immobile elements? So in mobile elements, actually mobile elements are nothing but the elements which can move faster from older plants to younger plants. Okay, older parts of the plant to younger parts of the plant. So like if the element is really very mobile, so it goes and settles in a particular part of the plant. And after that, when if you take an example for leaves, okay, so first the element from the soil, it goes to the leaf, it settles there. And when the leaves become young and when they decay, they change their color. These mobile elements, since they are very mobile, they can move actively. They move to other younger parts of the plant.
Which leaves are good, that leaves it will go.
Yeah, younger parts of the plant, younger leaves. Okay. So in these mobile elements, the deficiency are first observed in older parts because there the elements will not be present. It will be moved. So deficiency is observed in that parts because that element is not there. It is deficient to that element. So the mobile elements are examples of mobile elements are nitrogen, potassium and magnesium. Okay, can you understand?
Immobile, we already saw that calcium will not move.
Yeah, it will not move. It will be in the always. It will be in the decaying leaves. So no. So there will not be the elements will not be present in younger parts of the plant.
So the calcium will be get wasted.
No, calcium will not get wasted. Again, it will pull it from roots. Okay. So it is immobile.
No, the calcium that is already pulled from the root and in the part of the plant will be wasted.
Yes.
With the leaf decays or something, it will fall. Some happens means this.
It will be again recycled as so this immobile elements which are present always in the decaying parts and it does not move to the younger parts of the plant. The deficiency is first seen in the younger parts of the plant because if the calcium is not present there. Okay, can you understand? Immobilized element, the deficiency of that particular element will be seen first in the younger parts of the plant. Okay. So we will be discussing about the deficiency symptoms, some more characteristics of these deficiency symptoms. Some more points we will be discussing. We are going to see. So now we are going to see what are the deficiency symptoms in plants.
Okay.
So these symptoms arise due to which element, which deficient elements. So that all we are going to see. So here chlorosis is a kind of deficiency in plants.
Loss of chlorophyll.
Yeah, chlorosis occurs due to loss of chlorophyll, leading to yellowing in leaves.
Yellowish color leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because chlorophyll pigment is lost, chlorophyll is the main pigment which gives the green colors to plants. Okay. So chlorosis is a deficiency symptom which arises due to loss of chlorophyll. Okay. So this deficiency symptoms arise due to the deficient in elements, less in elements of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc and molybdenum.
Okay. Because of these elements, if these elements are not there in the plants, not a required amount of things in the plants,
then low in the critical concentration.
Then only this
chlorosis,
necrosis, many are occur. Okay.
So necrosis is nothing but death of tissue, mainly leaf tissue. Okay, death of tissue. So it occurs due to calcium, magnesium, copper, potassium. You can also remember this as Cag-Cook. Cag-Cook. Okay. And then the second one is lack or low level of molybdenum, nitrogen, potassium and sulfur.
We can call it as monks.
Yes, monkeys. Okay.
No, monks.
Monkeys. Okay, monks. Okay. So these monks, what they do, they inhibit cell division. Okay. So monks inhibit cell division, whereas monsters delay flowering in plants.
Monsters.
Yes, in low concentration. When these monsters are present in low concentration, molybdenum, nitrogen and sulfur. Okay. So these are some deficiency symptoms which occur in plants regularly. Regularly is nothing but often these elements will be deficient in plants. Okay. So next we will see our next subtopic under essential mineral elements, which is toxicity of micronutrients. Okay.
Toxic level of